morning, guys. Welcome to Little Patch here again today. Today I am talking about when the best timing is to start our seedlings for our summer garden coming up. Now, I have here in front of me, I have printed out my own little calendar. I'm going to work from the date that I want to transplant my seeds out when I know that the weather is warm enough for the plants to go in and be able to have them grow successfully and keep growing rather than it being too cold for them and they die off. So we'll be working from the months of September, October and November, getting our plan into place. So what I have done on these though is, because I do work every other weekend, so I have put in already the days that I'm working so that I know which days I'm working right through till the time that I'm going to be planning in so that I can work it out. I have also, for the month of July, we have family coming down on the 10th and the 11th, so I know that there won't be anything gardening happening that weekend. So basically just go through and fill out anything that you know that's happening. You know, you've got family coming, you know that is a weekend you're going away, anything like that. So just pre-put those in so that you can plan around those. Now, the idea here is the date that you decide that you the weather is good enough for you to plant your seedlings out, and then you work back from that date. They say 6 to 8 weeks from that date, but I'm going to work back 9 weeks because last year my seedlings were not big enough to go out. They were still quite small, so it is going to take them that little bit longer, and I want to make sure that they are big enough and or bigger than what I actually want them to be so that they have a really good start to the season and can get moving really quickly in their growth. So I have in front of me here my September, October, November and December calendars here. So you'll see that I've written in every second weekend is my work, the days that I am working, so I know that those are my weekends to work. So we're going to start here with December. Basically, I have on my calendar here, it says summer here and spring here. So I know this is my 2 months of the transitioning between the spring and summer days. So we do get quite a lot of warm spring days here, but we still do get some of the frost that come through in it as well towards the end of winter. So my plan for this year is that on the 4th of December here, because I'm also working with not only my transplants but also when I'm going to be direct seeding as well. So I'll put a list of the things that I'm going to be direct seeding on this day and the things that I will be transplanting that I will be growing from seeds, and I'll have the 2 lists of which I'm direct seeding and which ones will be transplants of my seeds. Now, I have December is the first month of summer. So on the 4th of December will be my first direct seeding weekend. It is a non-working weekend, and I will designate these 2 days, the Saturday and the Sunday, don't mind my spelling, and my handwriting is atrocious, so as long as I know what it says, I'm happy. So that is my weekend for my direct seeding, which is the 4th and the 5th of December. So I now know to not plan anything else. Yes, it is a work day, but I can do my direct seeding in the afternoon because I work AMs, which is from 6 till 2 p.m. So I now know that afternoon I will be direct seeding along with the Sunday as well, which should be hopefully plenty of time. If it's not, I will go through to the 11th and 12th and direct seed in on those days as well. So, so from there I need to decide what weekend I am going to be transplanting in, which will be the weekend before and the weekend before that. So it will be these 2 weekends here that I will be transplanting my plants out that I have grown from seeds. Basically because I know it's going to take me quite some time to get them transplanted out. So again, this is my work weekend, which is again from 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. So I know that the afternoon of the Saturday the 20th of November and on the 21st of November will be the days that I'm transplanting out. Now, if I don't get all my transplant out on those 2 days, I have designated the following weekend as well on the 27th of November to transplant anything else out that hasn't been transplanted out. So the end of November, the beginning of December are my really 2 busy months for transplanting out. Once everything's in, then it's all just go water and take care of everything as the days go. But yes, so ideally it is 6 to 8 weeks prior to your planting out date, because this is the end of spring. So I made the mistake last year of putting some things out early in the spring, like my corn and stuff like that, and basically it didn't do too well because we still had a lot of cold nights and the day temperatures hadn't warmed up enough. So from the day we want to do our first lot of transplanting out, which is the 20th, you generally count back 6 to 8 weeks. But like I said, I'm actually going to do mine 9 to 10 weeks because I do have a lot of things that I want to get done. Which also then allows me extra time if I don't get them all done on those weekends. Plus, I want them to be really quite big and ready to go. So I'm going to count back, you count back 6 to 8 weeks. I'm going to actually count back 9 to 10 weeks. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6, that's 7. And then we're into September. So that was 7, it's 8, 9, and 10. So around the 11th of November, which is a work day, but that is fine because basically I will go and use the weekend before, so the 4th and the 11th of September for my seeds. So it'll be planting my seeds on the 4th and on the 5th. And because we obviously have, you guys will probably know by now if you've watched video 1, I have a lot of seeds that I'm planting out. So basically I will also write in for the 11th and 12th that I am planting my seeds as well. So that gives me 2 weekends to get my seeds done. If something comes up and I have other things that I need to do those weekends, whether it be family happening or something else has come up, you know, birthdays and things like that, which I haven't written into any of this just for the privacy of my family. But yeah, obviously you can write birthdays on here, any parties you got to go to, anything at all that will take up your weekends for what you're doing. So that is a really, really basic plan on where I'm at and what I'm going to be doing and when I'm going to be planting them in. So basically the first 2 weekends of September, which is still spring, but I will be planting into my greenhouse, so the temperatures in my greenhouse will still get between 20 to 30 degrees depending on the day. So then they will spend 10 to 11 weeks in the greenhouse right up until November, where I'll be transplanting them out over the second last and the last weekends of November. And then into December, which is where I will be direct seeding anything else over this weekend, and most likely if I most likely, because there's a lot to be done, I will still be using the following weekend to do it as well. So, but if something comes up and I can't do it this weekend, at least then I know that the following weekend I have designated that time to that as well, because things do turn up and things do change from day to day, even though we have this plan set in place. So that is my put them in the right order. My 4-month plan is basically planting my seeds in over these 2 weekends, letting them grow over the space of this full month. So this half month, this full month, and a half month here, and then transplanting them out. If the weather is good, I could possibly look at putting them out on these 2 weekends here, but this is about where I want to be putting them in here at the end of spring. And then my direct seeding will be at the beginning of November. Obviously, we have Christmas at the end of the year, so there will be a lot of things going on here with family and stuff as well. Like I said, we haven't planned for where we're going to be for Christmas yet, but that is the idea of it. So then once December has come, everything is planted in and everything is growing. All I need to do then is to make sure I keep some weeds down, things are fertilized if they need it, and everything gets the acquired amount of water it requires each week. So planning your days that you want to put your seeds in and the days you want to transplant out, it is really, really simple, and it is just a matter of deciding how long you want them growing in your greenhouse for. If you don't have a greenhouse, you can still do this. You can do them inside your house. You can make an area that is warm in your house, under either a grow light or under a window that gets a lot of sun during the day. Even just people use heat mats and that sort of thing. I generally use my greenhouse because it still keeps its temperature quite nicely in there during the day. Even during winter, it still keeps its temperature above the really cold days that we do have. Also planning out 10 weeks prior to my seedlings. Basically, the reason I'm doing that this year is, one, it does take up to 2 weeks for your seedlings to sprout, so you're losing 2 weeks there. So if you do 6 to 8 weeks beforehand, so say if you do 8 weeks, you're losing 2 weeks in the growing of the seeds where they start to sprout, because that takes up to 2 weeks with a lot of them. So then basically you're losing 2 weeks for the sprouting. So then they'll only have been in the greenhouse for 6 weeks. So 6-week-old seedlings aren't overly big, and this is where I made the mistake last year, and that is why I'm going back to 10 weeks. So that basically, or 10 to 11 weeks. So basically my 2 weeks of sprouting time doesn't interfere with the 8 weeks, 9 weeks of growing time, which means the seedlings are going to be a lot bigger and a lot healthier when they go out into the garden. So all right, guys, so this is just a quick one. It is an important thing to do, not as important as it is to get your soil sorted out. Now, if you haven't seen video 1, which is where I discuss what seeds I'm putting in and how many I'm putting in, I will link that up the top here for you guys to take a look at. Also, if you haven't seen video 2, where I discuss the soils and equipment that I'm using for planting out my seeds, I'll link that one up the top here as well. That one is a little lengthy, but it is a very important one because that is the foundation of your plants. If you don't choose the right soils and equipment to put your seeds into, you are not going to have the very best quality of seedlings growing. So I discussed some alternative pots and things that you can use to save money and in the way of what you can use to put your seeds in plants in, put your seedling seeds into to plant them out. So take a look at both of them, guys. They are full of information to help you get started towards the best seedlings that you can grow for this coming season. It does help if you watch the videos in sequence, so I will definitely link them up the top there for you to take a look at. And then sit down and do your plan out. You don't have to put, it doesn't have to be a really pretty calendar. This is just something that I came across, so this one will now go up onto the fridge so that my family also knows that those are the weekends that I'm doing this, and so that if they plan anything or want anything done, they can see what weekends I have chosen to do my seedlings and so forth on, so that we don't end up double booked doing something else as well. So I am doing mine way out early at 10 to 11 weeks, so that if there is anything that doesn't germinate properly, or I don't get enough of the seeds germinated for the quantity that I want to grow this year, that means that it gives me extra time to put in more seeds, 2 to 4 weeks later, and then I can also have a succession planting of them as well. So it's just going to be a matter of playing with your times and your days. Our spring here can warm up really quickly some years. Some years it warms up really slowly. So it just all depends on each year. So having a bit of a plan in place of what you'd like to do, when you'd like to do it, that just gives you that option of making things a little bit more easier. You don't have to go, oh my God, I've just booked to go and see my friends this weekend and I really need to get my seeds in. So it's really important to sort of set aside that time if you want a garden that is growing on time and is going to be producing what you want. Things like tomatoes take pretty much all season to grow and produce your fruit and have them ripen. So the earlier you can get them in, the better it is. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me here again today. Don't forget to check out the other 2 videos. The next video is basically me showing you how and what way I'm going to be seeding my plants in. So I am not sure of the date of when you guys will get to see that, because normally I'll put the date down the bottom here of when that's going to be happening. But I actually may do some seedlings even earlier for you guys so that you can see that before the date comes for the seedlings to be done. Alright guys, I will see you on the next vid, and I really hope that you guys are enjoying these. Please don't forget your thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down the bottom there, and I will see you on the next vid.